super excited to share with you my favorite guitar that I currently own. This is the Harley Benton CST 24T. Real quick about Harley Benton, they are the in-house brand for the German mega music store Thomann. They have an entire line of Harley Benton guitars made for them. Their guitars are mostly made in Vietnam, Indonesia, China. The CSTs are made in Vietnam. They have these guitars manufactured and then they QC them and set them up in the shop in Germany. I found Harley Benton when I was looking for good quality but affordable guitars, and they were just all over the internet. Everybody was talking about these. I could not believe the line of guitars that I found there. The first guitar I bought from them is the LP style SC550, and I love that guitar. That was my favorite guitar until I started to work on some Alex Lifeson, some other stuff where I really wanted to have a vibrato arm, a Whammy Bar. So I went looking at the HB models that have the Whammy Bar, and I found this CST 24T. It's clearly inspired by the PRS 24s, but this guitar costs $249 US. And in fact, this actual guitar really cost $195 US. This is a B stock. The only thing that is making this guitar a B stock is on the very back. There is a little chip in the back of the body. It is not structural, it is cosmetic. I just put a little epoxy in there and it's taken care of. So that little ding is worth 50 bucks to me. So this is a $195 guitar. It's just unbelievable. So you saw that I scrolled all of the specs at the head of the video, and I will include them, of course, in the description as well. So why don't we start by going into some of the things that I'm not so in love with about this guitar. There are very few of them, and they're not deal breakers at all. The first thing is the tuners. On my other HB guitar, the SC550, the tuners are really amazing. They're totally stable, never an issue. They just came like that right out of the box. I didn't even have that guitar set up by a tech. I just played it out of the box, and I've had it now for almost a year and just love it. These tuners, on the other hand, they're a little bit jumpy, a little bit, they have a little bit of play in them, but they're not unstable. They just don't feel exactly right. And so I will likely replace these at some point. The other thing is the nut. So what happens with a guitar with a vibrato arm or Whammy Bar is that when you deploy that Whammy Bar, what you're doing is you're slackening all the strings. You're detuning them by basically taking the bridge and moving it, pulling it forward, giving slack to the strings, right? So you're sort of letting go of the tension that's pulling in the other direction, which actually is being pulled by the springs that are back here underneath the block. So, you know, the effect is, right? That's what the Whammy Bar does. What happens is when you loosen it, it's going to give a little bit here in the nut. The tension is being released, and you're allowing the strings to relax where they sit. And then when they return back up to their original resting position, you need them to be able to travel through the grooves in the nut. This guitar came with a graphite nut, and it was just a little bit grabby. It didn't necessarily allow the strings to move back and forth perfectly. And sometimes that's just the luck of the cut. When it's made in the factory, you can get one that's cut pretty well and it'll be fine, or you might get one that's not cut so well and it'll be a little grabby. So I did take this guitar to my tech guy to set up. He charges like $75 to do everything: intonation, the action, the truss rod, all of that, the saddles on the bridge. And then I think he charged me about $75 to get a new bone nut that he custom cut for this and installed it. And I really have to say, When I'm playing and using the Whammy Bar in like an average normal way, my tuning stability is pretty good. I was pretty surprised. If you're going to dive bomb, deep dive bombs, really, rough and tumble and doing it a lot, any guitar with a Whammy Bar being used like that is going to lose its tuning like pretty quickly. The only other thing is that the space between the two pickups is a little decreased, but that is the result of this being a 24 fret guitar. Most guitars have 21, 22 frets. This has 24. And the way guitar manufacturers compensate for that is they will take this neck pickup and scooch it back a little toward the bridge pickup. And so this space in between just gets reduced a little bit, but you get used to it in about 5 minutes of playing. But you're gonna see that on any humbucker guitar, double humbucker with a Whammy Bar. They're going to be squished together a little bit more. It's only like about a ½ inch difference or so. And the final thing, but I almost don't even want to get into it because it's not about this guitar. This is on all the guitars I have. You can see the finish on this is really beautiful. It's really glossy, right? So it's like a lot of polyurethane. And what happens is with a lot of guitars, in fact, all the guitars I have, this glossy finish will be applied to the entire body, front and back, and it even includes the back of the neck. And a lot of times when you have that, it can get a little sticky when you're playing. If you're getting into a nice groove and you're playing and any kind of perspiration starts to get going in your hands, you're going to start kind of feeling like you're sticking to the back of the neck. So what a lot of people do, and what I did with this guitar, is you can take like Scotch-Brite green scouring pads and you actually sand off the polyurethane. So I did that with this guitar. It took me 10 minutes. It was really easy. I just looked up the instructions online and I removed the heavy gloss from it. I think you can even see here is where I taped the guitar during that process. So the gloss is here and then it's not here. It's like a satin finish for the rest of the neck here. And that just really allows you to just sort of go up and down the neck so much more freely. But again, that's not about this guitar. It's not about Harley Benton. So many guitars that are like super high gloss, they all have that. And so I've actually sanded the back of all of the necks of my guitars. All right, so let's get into why I love this guitar. So first off, as I mentioned earlier, you can see the fit and finish of this is just gorgeous. It's just so beautiful. It looks like a much more expensive guitar than it actually is. The flamed maple top, amazing. I love the arched top that it has, that shape. I love the cutout, super comfortable to play. I love the shape of the neck. It's kind of like a very thin, kind of slim C style, and it's just super easy to play. I also love these pickups. Thomann seems to be using these Roswell humbuckers a lot, and these are just really good for such an inexpensive guitar. They're punchy, they're lively, they can get deep and rich, but then they can also cut through. This actually comes with a coil split, so you could take your tuning pot and pull it up and you can split the coil, so basically make it sound like a single coil pickup. And actually, speaking of the pots, I really love these pots. They're pretty weighty and substantive, and they also are textured, so it makes it super easy to adjust them while you're playing. So, if you're going along and you need to adjust that volume, it's just really easy to grab hold of it and do it on the fly. So I really like these pots. But overall, I love the sound that comes out of this. The fretwork, again, out of the box, perfect. No sharp edges, nothing uncomfortable. The playability is just so great. And the action was really great as soon as it came out of the box. That's the thing with Thomann. It's very clear that they actually do a real honest-to-goodness setup on all their guitars when they come from the factory into the shop. They really QC it, check it out, set it up, and then they ship it to you. So overall, just the playability of this is just, I love it so much. And the sound is great, and it has great sustain. It really rings out. And when I do things like pinch harmonics and stuff, it just has like a nice sort of decay to it, like it lasts for a while and you get a really nice sound. So let's take a listen to it. I'm actually going to be playing this through this Guitaria wireless system. This is like a $40 wireless. You just plug in the transmitter into the guitar. It goes into a receiver, and the receiver is going into my Vox Stomp Lab multi-pedal, and then from there it's just going to go into the computer. So we'll see how that sounds. In the description of this video, I have placed a link to this guitar at the Harley Benton website. I've also placed links for some of the other gear I mentioned in this video that I used today. And please know that these are affiliate links, so people who click on this link and happen to make purchases, we will get some sort of commission off of that, but that's what allows us to make these videos and keep this channel running. So we do appreciate any support in that way that we can get. But again, this is my favorite guitar right now. I love this thing, so I am just trying to spread the word because I really believe in this line of guitars and this manufacturer, and until I can see a reason why I need to spend a lot of money on a much more expensive guitar, I am sticking with this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope the review was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if there are any other questions or other aspects of the guitar you'd like us to go over. I'm also reviewing some other guitars and some other gear, and we'll be posting some videos that I hope will be helpful. Please also check out our website, which is strangedevice.net. There's a lot of good information over there. I have pretty recently set out on my guitar journey, and I hope that everything I'm learning on the way that I'm trying to share with you all is helpful in some way. Please just let us know if there's anything else you'd like us to be putting up on the channel or on the website. Thanks again. See you in the next video.